Hey, what's going on? It's your girl DJ T.O, the illest CJ. Hashtag She So Dope. We're talking music, money, motherhood, all things in between. It's the She So Dope podcast. And today I got my guy. I'm talking, we go back probably to when I started. Very early on. Like you gave me opportunities that nobody did in a city that I had no footprint in. My guy Marcus Hammond, he is the creator, the founder, the owner, all of the above of the Black Food Truck Festival.
Yes.
So thank you for coming. You drove a long way.
Yeah.
Of course, the Black Food Truck Festival is based out of Charleston, South Carolina.
That's right.
You moving out, right? We venturing out a little.
We are. We looking at some opportunities in some different cities, but for right now we're in Charleston.
Okay.
You know, we're looking at some cities in the state of South Carolina. You know, looking at some Atlantas and DCs.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. We.
Oh, Atlanta would
eat it up.
Yeah.
Easily.
I mean, no promotion needed. Like Black Food Truck Festival.
Yeah.
Atlanta, eat it all up.
Absolutely.
But of course, we started in Charleston because that's where you're not from Charleston.
I'm not from Charleston.
Where are you from?
I am from Memphis, Tennessee. Born and raised in Memphis. I am in Charleston via a basketball scholarship.
And you just
So I played basketball at the College of Charleston.
Okay.
That's how I got to Charleston from Memphis.
Okay.
And from there, I actually went from Memphis to New Hampshire to play a year of prep school basketball. And then I came back down to the College of Charleston, played basketball, stayed afterwards. And so here we are.
And then just business from there, you just started creating and
Absolutely.
creating. And so, of course, I know, but let them know, like, how we got from basketball Marcus to, owner, creator, like Black Food Truck Festival. And it's not just that. You have a whole couple imprints under that. But How did we get from there here?
So I graduated from the College of Charleston. I had a minor in Spanish. I had a major in business. And I think I was burnt out playing basketball. So I kind of like put that to the side. I didn't want to, I knew I wasn't going to the NBA, but I didn't want to start over and go overseas and kind of do that whole run. And so I went home for a year, got myself together, figured out what I wanted to do. I knew I didn't want to be in a bank. I knew I didn't want to be in a 9-to-5. And I knew I wanted to kind of like, people complain about Charleston not really having a lot of things to do for Black people.
Yeah.
I really saw opportunity, and I still see a lot of opportunity for it. So I always did events and promoted events. That's initially what I wanted to always do. And I wanted to take those events from being a promoter to like getting into concerts and festivals.
Okay.
I mean, it took a long time, but as you know, I started out doing events in 2010, which is how I met you. And then, I got into banking, not wanting to get into banking.
You did end up in banking.
I did end up in banking. I ended up as a relationship manager in commercial banking. So I worked with a lot of small businesses. I was basically the liaison between, businesses, small businesses, what they define up to like, $40-50 million a year. I know, right?
A small
business. I did that for 5 or 6 years, and in the midst of that, I came up with this idea, the Black Food Truck Festival, and I sat on it for a few years, and then life started happening, and I figured, I got to make it happen. And so that's how we got to the Black Food Truck.
So how many? I know you say you sat on the idea for years, but once you actually said, "Okay, it's go time," how long did it take you from, of course, idea to inception, like this is the date of the event is happening?
So it's funny you asked that because I had the idea in 2018. I was like, I went to a festival because I'd always been trying to figure out how can I get into the space where it's like multi-generational, where it's, concerts and like being able to just put a whole creative thought process out into the world. And so in 2018, I went to this food truck festival, and it hit me immediately as soon as I went, like, we can start the Black Food Truck Festival. But from 2018 to 2021, every year, I didn't know where to start. I didn't know how to start. And so I lost my mom in 2020. And then in 2021, I got laid off. And so I tell people I got some insurance money from my mom, and then I got a severance from being laid off. And then at that time, I said, it's no better time to kind of just like put all my chips on the table.
I'm not gonna do it.
And so I put a date to it, and then I just stuck to the date. I said, we doing it in November. We doing it this date. No matter what happens, we just gonna do it. We just And that's what happened.
It's amazing that, you know, I like to know from, you know, idea till it happened, because a lot of times with entrepreneurs, people think it just happens. Like they probably look where you are now with how well the Black Food Truck Festival is doing and just think it happened. Like, oh, he, you know, he had some money, he came up with this idea in January, and in November it popped off, and they don't know that like you said, in 2010, you were doing events on King Street in Charleston, like, and it just kept growing from there. You slowly built the following and slowly built your brand. And it's like, you know how they say the overnight celebrity is really 10 years? Like that literally is
it's
you.
really how it happens. And you know, when you're doing events, as you know, I'm sure you know when you're DJing, experience is the best teacher. It's just some things that you just never know will happen, and you just kind of find your way through it. And then you take measures in the next event to kind of prevent those things from happening. But, you know, it felt like, you know, we started the festival and then it just blew up. But when you look at it, I've done an event, at least one event per year since 2010. Up until the festival, I think my biggest event was probably 250, 300 people. So it wasn't that big. It was a small event, you know, 250, 300 people. It wasn't consistent. I can get picky with like trying to pick the right locations and the right DJs. And, but at this particular time, I had a conversation with my homeboy, Jermaine, House Representative here. And he was like, you ain't going to do it. You always say you're going to do something. You ain't going to do it. You ain't going to do it.
I need. That's all I need.
And he was like, you ain't going to do it. You came up with this idea. You didn't do it. You came up with that idea. And so.
See, that's a real friend, too.
Yeah, it is a real friend. And he was right. You know what I mean? So, you know, I had this opportunity. I had a chance to, like, put all my cards on the table. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm not going to put my face on it. And, you know, for a couple of years, I asked people about it. And so I went back one day when we first did the festival to see when the first time I talked about the festival. I typed it into my text messages on my iPhone, and then went back to 2018 where I was asking people, what do you think about this idea? What do you think about it? And everybody loved it. So in 2020, I went and I looked to see if the website was available. And it was available, and that was all she wrote. We just went from there. The website was available. The IG was available. It was like, you know what? Let me do it. And so, and that's kind of how I like to pick my events. Like, put a date on it. We got a date. We got a location. If you got those two things, I was like, there's nothing gonna stop us. We're just gonna go from here. And that's what we did.
I mean, I know you say nothing can stop you, but because it is an outdoor event, what happens if it? I mean, of course, I'm assuming you get like rain insurance or weather insurance, but like, what happened? We good, you know, good Charleston is good for some flooding. Y'all get a little drizzle in the street, the whole city shut down. So, like, what would have happened if that was the case? I mean, you couldn't plan.
You know, in 2021, I probably would have been devastated because at this point, we hope it never happens. But you know, it's a likelihood that it happens. But we do it as a rain or shine event.
Okay, so people know when they buy those tickets.
They know when they buy the tickets. There's no refunds. We do it rain or shine. Luckily, we've been blessed to not encounter that. We've had rain. Also, the location that we're at, you've been out there to the fairgrounds. There's a lot of concrete. So even when it does rain, we're able to kind of navigate. It's not mushy. It's not like certain parks in Charleston where when it rains, it floods. Yeah. And so like luckily with us, downtown, you know, we got some parks that are on rivers and like close to water where as soon as it rains, like your weekend is done.
Shut it down. Yeah.
And so it's rained a few times. The day of, the morning of, the night before, and even when it rains, April, we've picked a really good weekend, which is why we're scared to even move the weekend. Yeah. So we've had great success. But like I said, it's a rain or shine event. If that happens, we'll figure it out to make it right because, you know, we're not in the business of not getting people what they pay for. But
because it's not about the money, it's about the experience. I mean, it's great that the money is there. No, we need the money.
So I tell people it's you know, the customer is not always right, but the customer is always first. Yeah. Like, that's who we put in mind. That's why we've been successful, is because we always put the attendees first. And I came into this festival game with a 3 to 5 year plan on really building a lot of data before I would make some money, you know. So my thing was to build data, get a following, get all of those contacts, get all of that information so we can be able to use that for marketing throughout the year, as opposed to just waiting on the festival where sometimes it might rain or so sometimes people are doubtful about the economy or you just never know what can happen. So we've done a great job with that, and we're rolling into year 5 after next month. And so
we're still
really
doing
excited.
2 a year?
No, we did we lost a lot of money on that one we did in the fall. We did we did our first one in November of 2021. Okay. And then we did May 22 and we came back November of 22 and we were like, you know what, we're going to have to scratch that. And so now we do the spring, and the spring has been good to us. Yeah. And we do the spring in Charleston, and we're looking at maybe some summertime, fall dates in other cities.
I was going to say, maybe that would be the way to expand. Yep. So, you know, Charleston is always this weekend, and people know it. They can put it on their calendar last year for this year, and then other cities can have the other dates.
That's exactly what we want to do.
That would be smart.
Yeah.
I remember when we talked about it, and one of the things that I was just like, man, I don't know if you just that lucky or like God just got you, because when you told me that the domain name was available, the Instagram was available, and I was like, how did nobody else in the world say, let me buy blackfoodtruckfestival.com? Like,
I thought
that
the same
is crazy.
thing. And the first time I saw it, I left it for like a week. I was like, you know, this
that thing would have
been
in my cart so fast.
So, you know, I was like, you know what? Like, I just bought everything.
It was for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was absolutely for you.
God be looking out for you, boy. Yeah. So, you know, I bought it, and then I just really started to build from there. And that's where that experience thing comes in at. Like, you know, the last 10 or 15 years, like, marketing has changed a lot.
Yeah.
But I think at the foundation of marketing is really like guerrilla marketing and like supporting other people and building those relationships where people know you. So although I didn't put my face on the first one, I was able to use some of those relationships, like, yo, T.O, you got a photo booth? Yeah. Like, I got this event. Can you come out? And you're like, yeah, sure. And then you're like, well, I need this DJ and I need this band. And you start slowly putting the pieces of the puzzle together, and it works out.
And I love how diverse you are with everything, like from the vendors to the music. Like, the DJs, you don't necessarily go for who the streets think is the hottest DJ in Charleston. And that's how I got my opportunity. Like, right. Like, for anybody that don't know, I mean, most people don't, but like me and Bravo, my brother, we were in the club, and I was like, hey man, I DJ. I think he was the main one hyping her. Like, she DJ, and your DJ was there. You was like, well, let her on. Yeah. Let's see how she do. I'm talking like, just throw me in the water. Yep. Let's see, sink or swim, man. We were doing events at that point after that for years. Yep. Like, you don't call me no more. I'm a little hurt with that. But
you too big time for me now. The price is gone up.
Oh, it'll never go up for you. No, I'm just playing. But I love how like the DJs you do select, they are in Charleston, but they're like really dope DJs. They're not the hood's favorite. They're not, you know, your best friend or your homie. You just putting them on. Like, they're really good DJs who will give anybody there, any age range, any race, like a good experience.
And that's what we want. Like, I look for people who are really dope and people who are coming up for opportunity. I think it's a time and space to pick the hood favorite DJs, the one that's gonna rock it out, the ones that's super popular. But I like to work with the people who have the dopest playlist, who play the deep cuts. Who are looking for an opportunity. And when I found you, it was the same thing. Like, I was looking for a female DJ, and you know, I met you guys in the spot, and was like, yo, put her on. Like, if she can DJ, like, let's hear her. I don't think many people was in the spot, so it was like,
why not? Let's rock out.
Let's rock out.
Can't mess it up too bad.
Yeah. So you and I built a relationship, and then it was like, you know, I always love to have female DJs because they have a different ear. You know, a lot of guys, you know, sometimes they play what they want to hear. Yeah. And, you know, so I like to run with the female DJs, and I like to run with the people that everybody don't really know, so they can have a different experience when they come to our events.
Because think about it. If you book the same DJ that every other promoter is booking, your event is literally going to look and sound just like every other.
I don't know why that's such a hard concept. But you know what I think people do? I think they look for the favorite DJ because then they don't have to work as hard on the marketing aspect. And it is hard work to do a lot of marketing. And sometimes it costs money.
But that's your job as the promoter.
Literally. It's your job. You know, I remember like back in the day, we used to like call everybody and text everybody to come out to events. But people like, you know, she got the biggest crowd or he got the biggest crowd. So I'm just going to pay them and just hope everybody follow them. When sometimes that crowd ain't even the crowd that you want.
Exactly.
Or your event
and not
is
only
good for.
that, it's like if your DJ is promoting events every day, you know, every weekend, their audience isn't really paying attention at that point. They tuned out like, oh, okay, he DJing another one. Nothing special about it.
Nope.
It's just like if I love that when you were doing clubs and events, you wouldn't do it every week.
No.
It was like once a quarter twice a year or so, and that way people don't get burnt. Oh, here we go, Marcus throwing another party.
Yeah, and then people get burnt out from you always calling them and like asking them to come to your event, and then you can tell when promoters just get burnt out. They just post a flyer and think that everybody's gonna come.
That's not
And
it.
it's an art to events. I told somebody a couple weeks ago, I'm gonna always go out to the day I die. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I listen to some of these motivational speakers, and they're like, go to the show. Until the day you die, go to the show. You watch things like Blue Zones where they talk about these people who live to their 100 years old and how they all have these support groups and things that they do outside of the home. And that's essentially what we're doing. We going and we linking up and we being social and we meeting people and talking to people and building relationships.
Yeah. And see, that's key. I mean, that's real promotion. Like, people know you. They know you give a quality event.
Mm-hmm.
You go and support theirs, so they feel like, oh man, I gotta go support
Marcus.
Marcus.
That's the key. That is the key. Like, I support everybody's event. So, I try to go and check it out, go hang out, go meet them, go support them. Especially when we all in the same business, I'm going to go out, make sure I have a good time. Because I tell people, a lot of people like to pick and choose events and say, oh, I don't go to the ratchet events or I don't go over there. It's a space and time for everything. Yeah. And so I support what people are doing, and then they get used to me. And when I ask them for their support, or they just see my event online, they say, I'm going.
Oh, yeah. He always coming to mine.
He always come. He always show love. Yeah.
So that's definitely key. What were some of the early, challenges early on that you faced with? I'm sure, city of Charleston County, they probably gave a little backlash, a little pushback on, just our events ain't typically the city favorites. So I know it probably had to be at least a little pushback.
It was, ironically, my biggest pushback with the initial Black Food Truck Festival was getting the trucks to buy in.
Oh.
It was getting them to understand, that I was going to bring people. And so what I did was I had met, and this really helped me out a lot, I met Falami with Piece of Soul.
Okay.
She was at a food truck festival, and I got her to commit to it, which made it a little bit easier when they saw that she's coming. It's like, oh, well, he has this food truck. And the name always gets people, when they hear Black Food Truck Festival, they're like, oh, I want to, because contrary to popular belief, Black people love supporting other Black people. They love buying from Black people, and they love to support all the time. And so when people hear that name, they're like, okay, well, I want to be a part of it. So getting those first 8 to 10 food trucks to buy in was probably my biggest challenge.
Now they probably knocking at
Now they're knocking at our door. Yeah, we went from being 100 to the 100. And then the thing we talk about promoters, you always have to give something too. So my first food truck festival, I gave away 500 free tickets. I just put 500 free tickets out there.
That's a good promoter.
Yeah, because you want people in your spot. That's the key to it all. If all else fails, I knew I was going to have 500 people that showed up to be able to support these vendors that I got to pay me money to come out here and serve food. Yeah. And so that was the biggest challenge. And I think the second one was, you can say blessed, but I was able to have some money to be able to start the first one. But I think my second biggest challenge was just really navigating the social media space, because I didn't expect all of the racist trolls to be on the ads that we ran.
Because it's called Black Food Truck.
Because it's called the Black Food Truck Festival. The news in the city were all pretty supportive. It was when we started to run ads on social media that got to be like, this is crazy. Y'all are nuts.
Yeah. And sometimes I wonder, are these bots? Cause
a lot of them are bots.
You'll click the page sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I just don't have that much time in my day to go and comment under something I don't like. It's a different day now.
And it's crazy that the negative comments mixed with the positive comments helps you.
It's still engagement. Thank you.
Engagement.
I'm not deleting it. I was telling when I went through the trouble I went through, I'm like, y'all commenting on my Instagram. Y'all do know it's monetized.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was deleting them that first year. Delete. I was delete all of them, hiding comments and all.
So I'll wait. A couple months later, when that post is completely dead or something, okay, now I'll delete. Yeah. But no, in the moment, no, go ahead and engage.
That engagement just props it right on up.
You're making it where somebody else can see the post now, because you're engaging with this slow. But people don't realize that if you just don't engage with something you don't like, it'll go away. And I think about that even with rappers. People be mad at Kanye. And I'm like, if y'all don't comment, don't say anything,
he does it every time. Every
Kanye
time he
will
wants
go
to
away.
sell something, he just pops
And
out,
here
says
y'all
something crazy, and
yeah.
goes back in.
It's like genius marketing, y'all,
It
and
is.
y'all fall for it every time. That's crazy. So where would you like to see it go? Like, I mean, of course, we talk about other cities. Would you ever consider bringing on like bigger, like corporate sponsors, bigger partners, maybe money people to that can maybe make you take it further than maybe you could?
Oh man, that's an interesting. The corporate sponsors, absolutely.
Yeah.
We want the corporate. We've always wanted them. It's a matter of getting in front of the right people on that side of the business. And we've made some connections that I think will work out over the next year, 2 years, because they have to come in and see it and make sure it's legit and ran away. You know, it's that they want to be a part of it. Yeah. So that part, we definitely want the corporate sponsors. It's the celebrity part, you know, I know that because of our imagery, our pictures and our videos and the quality of the event, that people love it when they see it. And so if we get a celebrity, I feel like it's going to take our event from like where we're selling 13, 14,000 tickets to possibly 20, 25,000 tickets. It's just a matter of, do we have that in the budget? So it's kind of twofold with the corporates to be able to bring those celebrities on. And how much can our team handle? Because right now, you know, we have 9 or 10 people. And, you know, last year, one given time, we had 11 or 12,000 people in the park.
Wow.
And so
with no incidents.
No incidents.
See, go ahead and throw that out there.
Nothing. No, no incidents. No, our security.
Everything's ran right. It's Black Food Truck Festival, but it's not.
We checking you when you get to we checking you when you get to the door. We making sure because we got to keep everybody safe.
Kids there.
We have kids. We have a lot of kids.
Families.
We have a lot of people, and we do have bars, and we try to monitor everything to make sure number one that it is a safe event. And so, and then too, is, you know, when the sun starts going down, it's time for everybody to go home. You know, y'all go
Don't
ahead
hang around here. That's when stuff happens. That's when stuff happens. So you're smart enough to know that, it's time to go. End it by a certain time before they really get
to love my people is to know my people. So
that's all. That's all.
But to answer your original question, where I would want to see it go is I would like to have, you know, between 3 and 5 staple cities that we do, with Charleston, of course, being the main city. I love Charleston. I think it's so beautiful. And I think that a lot of times Black people don't know that they can come and experience Charleston as tourists in a safe way, that they can really just embrace the culture and see all the culture without having to find everything all over the place. A lot of the tourist dollars and marketing in Charleston are catered to a specific demographic. And then a lot of people outside of Charleston who have never heard of it, if you're not from the South, you kind of think of South Carolina and Charleston in a way that doesn't favor you, favor what you want. And so I would really love to make, especially in Charleston, if we don't do other cities, to make it like a essence of the Southeast, or like a.
I can see it.
I would love to get more. You know, we have artists all day. If we were able to get bigger artists, not just one per day, but like if we were able to flood the stages, the whole weekend, like a festival, like a music festival. Right now, we get a ton of regional artists. You know, as far as Atlanta, Connecticut, all over the place, and all of them are growing too, which. We talk about DJs, how we used to like to find dope DJs who are coming up. We find a lot of dope bands who are doing the same thing. And so I know that celebrity status is going to take us where we need to go. It's just a matter of, do we have the budget to go there? And is it needed?
Would you want them celebrity, like just as an influencer promoting, or we're partnering where I have to share in some of my revenue?
No, we want them to perform.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah. We don't want them to promote. If we bring artists, we want them to perform, and we would prefer that they perform with a live band. Like we want them to come, like bring their A game. And so being able to partner with those corporate sponsors is going to be major, because not only do we want them to come and do their best, but we still want to keep the ticket price reasonably, you know,
to where the core,
so where people can still come out and enjoy it. Because you got to buy your food. So we don't want to be charging, you know, $60, $70 at the gate, and then people have to spend their money on food. And then that way, a family of 3 or 4 are not really able to get the full experience. So it's going to be key over the next, you know, 6 months to 18 months on how we maneuver and growing from where we are today to where we want to be.
Do you have struggles getting sponsorship? Like, do corporate kind of look at it like,
It's been a pain point. You know, it's been a pain point. I don't know for what specific reason it would be a pain point. Some of it I think is we're new in this business and trying to build relationships. I think a lot of times trying to find a person who writes the checks and makes the decisions
That's
is the
hard.
hard
Yeah.
part. It's easy to get contacts, but the person who you really want to get to know, who can say, "Hey, we're gonna give you $250,000 or $100,000 for this event," it's kind of hard to get to that
Yeah.
person. So I think it's twofold. I don't necessarily think that the name scares off people the way people would think it does. Maybe that's me being optimistic about
Yeah.
it.
I don't think so either.
I don't think it does either. You know, even I was having a DEI conversation with somebody last week, and I was like, "Well, you can't put us in a DEI box because we bring over $10 million into the city."
Wow.
So it's like this is about the quality of work that we do. You know what I mean, and not just necessarily, because it's a black event.
Do you think you get the support from outside of Charleston more than
Absolutely.
actually? Yeah,
Absolutely.
I was thinking it's
Well,
always like
we're
that.
figuring that out too. Like last year, we sold over 13,000 tickets,
Wow.
and so 83% of those 13,000 came from outside of the city of Charleston.
That is crazy.
And 70% of those 13,000 came from outside the state.
Wow.
Yeah. So
And see, it's good that you say that, because a lot of time, like, whether it be an artist, a DJ, or a business person, like, we always look to home to feed us, and typically that's the last place that we can eat. Like, it's 17%.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
crazy.
Yeah, 17%. Which
you would be broke if you were just waiting on Charleston.
Yeah, I would be, and it's crazy because, those are the tourism dollars that we want to tap into when you talk about sponsorship. But a lot of people say, well, how do you feel about that? For me, I see it as an opportunity to really market more to the community and ask, like, what would you want to see? Like, why don't you come out?
Yeah.
Like, what can we do to engage you for the weekend to be able to come out and support the festival?
I don't know if you'd get a real, and I think it's just they got to see everybody else supporting.
You think that's what it is?
It's like that with it's no different than a rapper. Like this rapper could be working in that city for however long, but the minute Atlanta start messing with them or a different city, they like, oh yeah, we've been messing with. No, you wasn't. No, you was.
It is tough. Like when I saw those numbers, I was surprised last year. I know that, and what's weird is Charlotte buys more tickets to the festival than anybody, than even Charleston.
That might be on the list of next.
Oh, it's definitely on the list. Yeah, and their tourism will be down there. They've become very supportive, and we're building those relationships with different cities. But they come out and they show love. I'm talking about thousands of tickets. They go to Charlotte.
Wow.
And they just drive down for the day and come and hang out.
So it's like you have that data, so you know where to target ads and where to focus on.
We got a ton of data. Yeah, a ton of, and that was the whole point.
That's one thing I really respected. Like when you put it together, you left no stone unturned. Like I'm talking the very first year, the very first event. After that, you had so many camera people floating around, the drone floating around. I'm like, that's key, because you need that footage to show potential sponsors and companies, and also to show people for the next one. Like, this is what you missed, so come on out. And I just thought that was so smart and dope.
I appreciate it, because one of the biggest things I wanted to do was really show Black people in like a positive light. And so I really wanted our photos to speak to Black people. So when you came to our event, it was a way for you to get away and enjoy yourself and really have a good time. And really be about community. That's why we don't allow so many people and so many vendors, because we don't want people to be spammed. We want them to come out, look good, feel good, have some good food, some good cocktails, hear some good music, embrace people, talk to people. And then that way your timeline is not flooded with a bunch of foolishness. Like you can see us looking good. And so we have thousands and thousands of photos, hundreds of hours worth of videos, like you said, to be able to take those visuals and
constantly
show them to
market. Like you ain't never lacking for market.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, to be honest, we probably don't ever have to take a picture again with the amount of photos that we have. We got over 10,000 photos.
So I know, of course, it was your idea, but do you have somebody else handling like the social media? Like, what's the team look like? I know it's like 9 or so people, but like, what do you delegate to where I don't touch this at all?
I don't delegate enough. I still touch the social media. I'm still the only one doing the social media.
Really?
And marketing. Yeah.
See, I would have thought that you had an agency by now, because it's really good.
I'm still trying. Thank you.
I mean, that's not to say you couldn't do it, but I'm like, I would have thought that.
No.
Because it's hard for me to manage.
No, it's very hard to manage. And to be honest, I shouldn't be touching it. Somebody else should be doing it, because I feel like if I delegated it, it could grow. I can get my
Even
hands
bigger.
off of
Yeah.
it. But I do the social media and a lot of the marketing. But my team, like, you talk about people who, LaFay does the entertainment directing, and then Jabari like helps me out as like my right hand man, and Portia does the merchandise, and
Okay.
we got a food truck liaison that handles all the
All of that,
communication.
yeah.
Zora, she does all of that. And Tanika from the Cocktail Bandits with the beverages, and Zulika, she does beverages as well. And it's just a whole team of people. David handles the influencers, and it's like all of this stuff comes together from all these people I know. So instead of just using Katrina and Daniel, who was our photographer and videographer, instead of just paying them on contract, we bring them in as part of the team. And like, what are they seeing when they at the festival? And like, what are they seeing that can help us? And like, we need their input as well. So we add them to the team. Security.
Smart.
What are you guys seeing that can help us on our end, that can help you guys? And then everybody kind of works together that way.
That's smart. So everybody that is helping in some way, they're a partner. So it's like maybe they get a split or percent.
No, they're all contracted.
Okay, gotcha.
So they basically get their contract
Whatever
dues,
they say,
but then they commit, maybe an hour a week.
Yeah.
Like to the team.
But see, I like that because they have some type of like skin in the game. Like it's not just a job to where I don't care if they do good or not because I'm still going to get my money. Like you actually involved.
They're involved. I asked for their input. Adrena, she's like my right hand too. She's our creative director. Like we get on these calls and we hop on these calls and she'll tell me, hey, well, you need to be doing this, or you need to keep up with this, or this is the date for this. And we just kind of like all feed off each other. And then at the end, I pay maybe 2 or 3 people hourly, and then I pay our videographer. They charge me their videography rates, and then we just kind of go from there.
That's dope.
And they're all quality, like all quality people.
Yeah, you didn't skip on it.
We look at the Coachellas as our muses, and then I say, hey, Daniel, like this is what Coachella is doing with their videos. Like, how can we get our videos like that? And that's where the idea came from to, okay, why don't we record all our performances? Like, if they're doing it, like, if we can find a way to do it, it supports you.
And that's content. Everything is content.
It supports you. It gives us content. It supports the artists. Because what we were finding were artists didn't have a lot of YouTube videos for us to even be able to see their footage. So now, if they want to go to a wedding, they can pull up a YouTube video from our page and show somebody this is our performance. And then it gives us content. It gives them content.
It's a win-win for everybody.
It's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah. And see, that I love that because, a lot of times, especially for the first event, the inaugural event, people love the cut corners and skimp, but you can't do that on the first one for sure. No. Like it's like first impression.
And you got to have that content. Like this is a content-driven marketing world now.
Yeah.
So if anything, you want to make sure you have quality photos and quality videos because then you can take those videos and you can say, hey, like this is what your brand would look like next to ours. These are the people, this is the demographic. Even if it's 15 people, there's somebody who wants to be in front of those 15 people.
Absolutely. And one thing I noticed just from doing so many events and even on the photo booth side now, like doing events, and a lot of these events, they'll have sponsors for specific things. So like a lot of times for us on the photo booth side, they'll be like, oh, hey, Marcus is the sponsor. We want to put Marcus logo on all the photos. And what'll happen is that you're just a sponsor for that. They'll have signage or whatever, and then the bar may have a different sponsor. And so sometimes it's just easier to kind of take it like baby steps, like small parts. But the money got to be there, to be able to do these things.
And you have to start out kind of small, like because I came in this game as a promoter, like, and I knew how to sell, but I didn't understand the sponsorship piece and like understanding what your value is, because sometimes you can give out a value that your value is way more than what you putting out, and then sometimes it can be like you said, separating those sponsors. Like I could have She's So Dope support or sponsor the photo booth, and what is that value in that, and like how are we both working together to make sure we get our value and create value for each other. And then sometimes you might have to piecemeal stuff together. And it's okay.
And it's okay to ask for help. Like, use your resources. So if you know somebody who has, something, hey, like, can you come out? Maybe I can't pay you, but it's exposure, like, or, I'll at least cover gas. Like,
and
something
that's the
like
thing,
that.
Like, It used to be where people were asking people for things just off the strength, like, can you
You
just
look out for
come?
me.
I look out for me. I put you in front of these people, and sometimes the way the algorithm works now, you posting a picture is not going to put somebody in front of. So you have to lead with value when you asking people to give you a favor. You have to say, hey, like, I know you're going to be coming down and you're going to be, serving drinks for this, but I'm gonna introduce you to this, that, and the third, and then we'll be able to take that and we'll put you on our platform, or we'll put you on our email list that has almost 20,000 people in it. There's different ways to kind of figure this out.
Yeah, I mean, you got to figure it out. You say you start small. I don't think you started small at all, to be honest. And it's crazy because it was just a continuation of dope events. I always said, like, you have some like $1 million ideas. I don't know if you realize it yet, but even with before Black Food Truck Festival, it was Trapioke.
Right.
I still think Trapioke is $1 million idea. And I remember a couple years ago, I was like, look, man, if you're not gonna do nothing with it, like, can we come together? At this point, I'll put some money in. We be partners on it.
It's funny you say that.
Playing with it.
So what we've done is those events that I had all those years, we talk about the experience, all those years leading up to the festival, we've taken that and we've taken those and built a weekend. So last year, Rhythms and Booze, that's our opening soiree on Friday night at the International African American Museum this year.
Man.
And so we've done that event the past 2 years. Last year, we added Trapioke to Black Food Truck Festival weekend.
I missed that.
Sold over 700 tickets, sold out.
Man.
The event just went crazy. And it was a really, really fun event. So we're bringing it back this year.
Okay.
And now we got Afro Chuck, which is our Afro Beats party. So now that's going to be on Sunday night. So we're really working into building a week of events just in Charleston. And then we're going to get on the aspect of like maybe doing some kind of like entrepreneurial classes or something like that during the day on those Thursdays and Fridays. But we really want to build a safe space for people to come to Charleston and have a good time.
Yeah, it's just... And hopefully Charleston start to get on and support. I mean, but it is what it is. You don't do it just for one group.
We would like for y'all to give us some more money.
Yeah.
But
you can't do this without the money.
Charleston does an incredible job. Like those relationships have slowly been coming into fruition with the city of Charleston, with them coming in with Explore Charleston, with the city of Charleston. Those relationships have been slowly building and headed in the right direction. Like, the CBB supported us last year. The last 2 years, I believe they'll be back out this year. They actually supported our economic impact report that got done from the College of Charleston. The city of Charleston this year, we were able to work with them and really start to get it pushing. Of course, as if I wouldn't be who I am if I didn't say, hey, we need more.
We need more. You can't money. Have enough.
But the relationship we're building with them is there, and it's starting to grow, and we want to grow it a little bit more to where we've been able to do this thing on a budget where we're just making it happen. If we were able to get to the $500,000, $1 million budgets, it's no telling where we could take this thing and grow it.
Yeah, it literally would be Coachella.
Yes,
or
if we had those kind of budgets, I think we'd really, really be able to kill it. Then we'll be able to get the social media marketing, the marketing teams, and we'll be able to get the big time celebrities to come out and perform. Because I got visions of like bringing some of the best artists coming down and putting them in front of the live band and really letting them work out.
Yeah, I love that, man. Your visions are very unique, and sometimes, I mean, not to say that this is the case for you, but sometimes we're ahead of where we are. Like even I remember with Trapioke, like that, you might have actually been ahead of the curve with that.
We had so much fun.
Right, that's why I was like, look, man, if you don't do something with it, like,
listen,
I'm ready.
That's an experience.
Put me in the game, coach.
Because I think on like the first one we did or the first two we did together, I didn't have a videographer.
Nope.
So it's just like all cell phone.
Oh my gosh.
It's just all
we had
cell
a videographer?
We didn't have a videographer, nor did we have a photographer. So I was like going forward, every event every event, you got to have a photographer and videographer.
Yeah.
Like,
that's key.
Just capturing cell phone footage ain't going to get it.
And not as the DJ or the organizer. Like I got 10 other jobs I got to focus on. I can't worry about trying to get the content.
Yep.
But that's also why I asked about your team. Like at some point, I'm that way. I'm the same way. I need to delegate, Lord knows. But I just know I had like the full vision in my head. You know what I'm saying? And no matter how many meetings we have, I don't know that you would fully grasp that. So like for me, it's just easier to do. You know, and I know you just gotta trust in your team, but I'm kind of
It
with
sounds
you.
easier to do, but you know, eventually you just gotta let that baby walk on its own, or they won't learn.
That's true.
You know, like if you constantly trying to touch every plate that comes through the window, you can't grow and get to the level you want to get to. And so it's hard. I think it's hard for all entrepreneurs when it's your baby. Like,
I don't want to let it go.
You got to put systems in place to safeguard everything that you do, and like let your team. My team always asks me, "Can I do this? Can I do that? Can I do this? Can I do that?" And sometimes you gotta say, "Why am I posting at 4 or 5 in the morning? Like I can give this to somebody else to do."
You can even have an intern or something.
I'm not a graphic designer. Why am I trying to do a graphic designer on camera? I know nothing about this. Like, let me give this to somebody. Let it go. Let it go. Just let it go.
Let it go. Because here's the thing, what I'm trying to grasp, and I tell myself this, so I'm going to tell you, if you let something go, it gives you room to do more. So you need to be the one going to get the money.
Yes.
Let them do the social media. Let them do, some of this other
Even
stuff.
at the festival, I don't need to, Jabari always gets on, I don't need to be running around. I need to be talking to sponsors and talking to people and not making sure this is running and that is running. But
that's what they for.
Yeah.
Hire some interns, some volunteers for that day.
And a team is so important. Like, get you a good team. Like, you need a good team of people who know what they're doing. Like, people who operate in their excellence. Like, my videographer does videos. Like, it's, he's able to grab other people who do videos underneath them and guide them to doing videographer and the edits. But mainly, that's what he does. And then from there, we can have influencers and people who are starting out. We can kind of grow with them and have them doing things on the side. But when you want that main thing to pop, you need people who operate in excellence.
Yeah.
And they'll help you. Yeah. They'll tell you when they'll tell you when you're messing up, and you offer them value, they offer you value. You guys work together and create something special.
And I think the only harder part for me, at least I can say, when trying to find that team is trying to find somebody who believe in you or your vision. Because it's easy to hire somebody. Like, there's a lot of really good people, but I don't want to just be a check. Like, I want you to believe in what I have going on, to the point, not that you undervalue yourself or you looking out for me all the time, but like, let's work together and we both could grow. And so I feel like you have that with your team.
I do. I picked a good group. I think that's one of my biggest talents, is being able to recognize other talent and saying, like, I don't know how to do this, I'm gonna give it to this person, or I need them on my team.
I like what they're doing.
I like what they're doing. Like, I want to work with them. That's been the best part, man. Finding people you want to work with, finding dope DJs, finding bands. LaFay does a good job of bringing bands to me. I do a good job going out and saying, hey, what do you think about this? What do we put this person here? What if this sound on Saturday mixed with this? And you just kind of figure stuff out and learn.
And see, that's smart, because LaFay, she literally has a band. So, I mean, she clearly probably would know more than I would know when you're trying to be like, is this a good band? I mean, they got instruments. I guess they good.
And small things too. Like, I know, my skill is like making sure people having fun. I know how to get people together, and like, I know how to put people in a space. And I knew about bands, but I don't know. I'm like, so what, like LaFay, like, what if I want the same instruments all day and like I want 5 bands? She's like, well, you need a backline. How do I get a backline? I don't know nothing about a backline.
What? That's above my pay grade. That's above my pay grade.
So then I started learning what all this stuff is, and you kind of know a little bit about every department, but you're not gonna be the expert in everything you're doing. So you need help.
But I mean, they say, we can, people have difference of opinion. They can hate all of these billionaires and stuff. But at the end of the day, one thing that they have in common is they know how to hire the right people. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, whoever, they know how to hire the right people. They are not the smartest in every room, but they know how to hire the smartest one in every room, and that's key.
It's very, very important, and being able to let go. I'm learning. We all learning. We started in November of 2021, so we're almost 5 years in this thing. We're like 4.5 years in.
We're like something big. We're 5th.
That's what we're planning on.
Try to get a good artist.
We're trying to get a good artist, like a really dope. Even when we get celebrities, because there's 3 stages out there, and we really want to make it a music festival where people can see their favorite artists. I always be thinking about her because it's just how dope she is with the live instruments and Masego, and but then you got your T-Pains, and like we really want to do like those artists who come out and like really put on a show. And still keep our local artists in the mix too. And local, not just Charleston, but Columbia, all over South Carolina, Atlanta. I really want to tap into my Memphis side and go bring a lot of people from there here and get them going. So, yeah.
So Is Memphis? Could Memphis be
Memphis is on the
or is it
list.
just not that? Okay.
And Memphis on the list. Yeah, that's home.
I was gonna
So
say at this
I'm
point,
I'm
like
a,
that's easy. I
yeah,
mean,
I'm a
probably.
Memphis kid through and through.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely want to get back to Memphis and
Okay.
do something there. I think it will pop there as well too.
Okay. Well, I can't wait to see where it goes. I
You
mean,
coming this year?
I'm gonna be there.
You know I got tickets for you.
I'm in there.
Okay. All right.
And of course, you know, if you ever need anything, I don't have to be the DJ. I don't have to be I don't have to be a vendor. But if you need something, if you're like, man, I want to add a photo booth. We don't necessarily have the budget for it. I bet we'll figure it out. You know,
Yeah.
like I'm
My
not
team
ever
get on
tell
me
you
about
no.
that because I be trying to pay everybody,
Yeah.
and sometimes you just ain't got
You
the
know,
money.
little gas money ain't gonna hurt,
You know I
but
take.
I'm saying,
You know I'm always gonna take care of T.O.
But no, like I mean, you just such a good person, and like that's why your events and all your ventures do as well as they do, because like genuinely you're a good person, and so people gravitate towards you. They're not gonna tell you no if you ask, but you gotta just use your resources.
We do, I do.
So
They
I
get
can't
on me
wait to
about
see
that.
what you
And I always appreciate you coming out to support because
I'm in there.
that's been a long time. 2011 or 12 is when I think we did our
Crazy.
first event together.
And like literally, I wouldn't have ever been in Charleston if it wasn't for you.
That's dope.
Like the main one that would literally probably the only one for the longest that would book me. So if somebody else did, it was because of you.
Yeah.
Like legit.
Yeah, I don't be saying it, but that's true.
That is, yeah. Right? And I'll say that. I say it all the time.
And I like DJs in Charleston who be like, oh, thank you for booking me and like bringing me in, like, because I wish I had more events so I could put more people on. But I don't want to water down.
Not quantity.
I want quality. And the next thing is working on getting a lounge this year, like having some kind of lounge set up throughout the year.
You know, that's
like,
my end goal.
Yeah, I'm telling you, where people, whenever you see people complaining about something or always fussing about it, there's an opportunity to create. And I think in Charleston has a beautiful community. The entire community has a beautiful community, and there's an opportunity to grab, that culture, those young black professionals, and getting black people that come to Charleston. They don't have anywhere to go. There's not many places for you to go, and so there's an opportunity and a niche where we can really build and like have some dope stuff going on.
Some of my best ideas come from people complaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, I can either be a part of the number complaining, or I can be the solution.
Yeah.
And so I always tell, like, there's a demand for it. I just need to be the supplier.
Yeah, and all the time. You don't have to. I was the same way. I'm like, man, they have all these festivals. Like, you got Charleston Wine and Food coming up this weekend, which is dope. But 10 years ago, it was 99% like white. Like,
wasn't really for.
And they've done
it's probably still not really for us, but they've been corporate.
They've done a whole lot better. They're doing well. They're killing it. I'm really hoping the weather holds off so they can kill it this weekend. They've done a great job of like doing more culture-based events. But instead of me complaining about like, I know I love wine and food, but like, what do other people want? Where do they want to go? Like, what do they want to do? What do they want to see?
A good food truck.
Yeah. So I'm like, we got
a good drink.
We got food at the festival. We got, we got bars. The Black Food Truck Festival is April 25th through the 27th in Charleston, South Carolina.
It's normally that same year,
it's the fourth weekend in April.
Year. So every year, whatever time you see this, fourth weekend in April, we in Charleston for the Black Food Truck
Food Truck Festival. Friday night is our opening soiree, Rhythms and Booze. Saturday night is Trapioke. And then Sunday night, we have this will be our first time doing our Afrobeats party. Friday night and Sunday night will be all-inclusive, drinks and food, which are ticket prices. Saturday, we have day parties at the Black Food Truck Festival. So if you come out to the festival, there's going to be different day parties located throughout the Black Food Truck Festival. And then we'll have 2 stages. We'll have one stage activated with smaller artists, and then we'll have our main stage artists on the main stage. We'll have 2 or 3 bars. We'll have a kids section somewhere far off for the kids to be able to play and do what they do. And I think this year, we're going to have like a small little stepper fest. We're going to have some for the steppers this year.
You please, hey, if you don't, I mean, I know you on your marketing. I know you on your game, but if you don't already have these fans ordered, get you some Black Food Truck Festival fans.
That's the next thing.
That should be floating around.
We own it. Yeah, we own it. We're looking at having a stepper fest at the festival. So when you pay to get into the festival,
it's something for everybody.
It's something for everybody to do. We used to just have the day party in the back, but we'll have DJs at each bar for you to be able to come out, check it out.
I love it.
Sponsored by Tito's. Tito's came through and big sponsors. CVB earlier, I talked about them. City of Charleston. Man, we really got some dope people in the mix that's really coming out, and you'll be hearing us on the radio probably next week in Columbia.
Okay.
We really want to tap into the market. Columbia is one of our top 5 cities that comes out, shows
Smart.
out. So
yeah, you definitely want to run ad. I mean, social media too. I'm sure you're gonna cover the ads and stuff. I'm excited. So it sounds like I need to get a room.
Yes.
I can't just come for one
we
day.
have hotel discounts
all that's on the website.
BlackFoodTruckFestival.com.
Okay.
So you'll be able to find everything you need. We are recognized as a travel agency now too. So
not you booking the whole.
we got our IATA number. So we do so much in tourism, having people come in that eventually we thought about doing it this year. Was just gonna be too close, but maybe next year we'll be able to set up packages where people will be able to buy all-inclusive packages and just be able to come down there.
Yeah, I don't want to think about it. I just pay my money.
You just pay your money and you come. Like the only thing you have to pay for is your flight.
Nice.
So we'll be able to have transportation. We'll be able to have everything. You just come. You come to all the events at the festival, and then we'll have a good time.
I love it. I'm in there. What weekend again?
This is April 25th through the 27th, but it's the 4th weekend in April in Charleston every year. It's going to tell you that it's at the Exchange Park Fairgrounds in Ladson, South Carolina, but that's just the Outer Banks of Charleston, so it's all Charleston County.
Yeah, it's right outside.
Right outside Charleston.
I love that. So I'm in there. BlackFoodTruckFestival.com, Instagram, social media, all that
all that, BlackFoodTruckFestival.com, YouTube. You want to see any of your favorite artists or see what it's like to be at the festival, go to our YouTube channel, go to BlackFoodTruckFestival.com, like, share, subscribe. You'll be able to see everything over the last 3 or 4 years that we've done with the Black Food Truck Festival.
It's legit. I promise it's legit. Well, I'm in there. I hope y'all be in there. I'm in there. Every year, 4th weekend in April.
I appreciate you for having me and keep supporting my girl. T.O. has always been killing it. We've been working together for 12 or 13 years.
Yeah, we family at this point.
Exactly. Her and Bravo.
Yeah.
You know, they've been to the festival. They know what it's like. I love this girl. I've had so much fun watching you grow.
Oh, thank you.
I remember being so happy when you got on the radio in Charlotte. I was like, hey, yeah, look at my girl. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you. Thank you.
I wouldn't be where I am without you. I'll put that out there.
I appreciate that.
I will always say that. I ain't never gonna be.
I'm glad I had a small part of your success.
All I need is a couple people with small parts to make it big. So you were one of those people. So thank you. Until next time, once again, it's your girl DJ T.O. #She's so dope. My boy Marcus Hammond. BlackFoodTruckFestival.com @Black Food Truck Festival on all social media. She's so dope.